between now and the March deadline is okay. Where are we realistically thinking he's going to be?
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary because he looks like he's going to be an NHL hockey player who's going to get.
Who might be a year and a half away from really being an impactful guy.
But you worry that he's going to be impactful in a way that not many guys are, like Cirelli or like a thoughtful two-way conscience. That ceiling is. He's not Anthony Cirelli. I'm not saying he's.
Plug your ears, Craig Berube and Minton. If Minton has to be part of the trade to get Brock Nelson or Kadri or one of these, yeah. Right.
Right.
Are we all being serious here?
Yeah, we are.
I'm in. But
there's only one.
I really like Minton.
I do too. I've been impressed.
You're lucky if you got 3 pieces, in your organization that teams want.
Mm-hmm.
At least for sure have 2. Grabenkin, like he would intrigue me if I'm another team willing to deal with the Leafs.
Residual Robertson value?
Oh.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Here's a question from Al Davis 49 on Twitter.
Just win, baby.
Just win. Why does Craig Berube continue to play Ryan Reeves? He doesn't bring a ton to the table.
I don't mind.
And he's
him.
also not playing.
This is the best. The best I've seen him as a Leaf in this stretch. Without fighting.
That's the thing, though, Kip. Like, you don't have to fight every game, and there's not a guy to fight every game. Okay, but it's almost Christmas break, and he hasn't fought once.
Okay,
it's not even that.
To be fair to him, like the era of needing to fight just to stay relevant is gone.
I understand.
So you tell me between beginning of the season, give me like 1 or 2 examples where he needed to fight and he didn't.
No,
I can't recall.
No, I can't either. But we've talked about the Leafs not being reactionary and being the punch first team, and it doesn't feel like he's a threat. Like he's like people. Like he's, I don't know. Like he's been fine. I don't have any problem with him as a hockey player.
Yeah,
but like he hasn't been like other teams.
No,
going, God,
he's
Reeves
not.
is out here. Like he wants to kill us.
Yeah,
like he's done his job as a forward.
Maybe don't ask Darnell Nurse about that, but.
Well, that hit is a different animal to me than what we're talking about.
Yeah.
By the way, the bottom 6 of McMahon, Minton, Domi. I like that. Holmberg, Dewar, Lorentz. I also think that's a pretty good 4th line. I like the bottom 6 like that. I think they would get some more offense out of it.
Yeah, if you just slid old Brock Nelson right in between the Domi and McMahon, it's like, oh boy, that team's looking.
That would change the look.
Team's looking a lot better.
Yeah.
Sorry to sweet.
Want to take a quick break and listen to Berube talk about McMahon coming back?
Sure.
Or
I
no?
also would just like to say, as a guy who follows the Islanders, I would be probably okay with that arrangement rather than just losing Nelson. Like I like Minton.
But
Sorry.
You mentioned, though, that if they were going to trade Nelson, like they'd have to be out of it, and he'd have to pry a lot. I don't know. Is Lou wanting to trade him? Feels like he's more likely to extend him for 8 years than he is to trade
Lou
him.
is not giving up. They took 2 points last night off of Chicago.
Well, they tried to lose.
Lou will not pack it in.
He's not going to pack it in?
I don't. I'm talking about, like, you trade a guy like Brock.
You're packing it in.
You're packing it in.
Oh, just
Do
on
you know what
the
I'm
season.
saying?
No, Lou will never.
So,
Yeah.
I think it's maybe a bad mistake by the organization.
Like, will Lou pack it in?
Resign.
Yeah. You mentioned in your article that you thought
like
that
physically pack it in.
He was saying, well, just that you thought
I think they're leaning towards him
doing it on his own.
doing it on his own eventually.
Quick,
and I'm
so
not
we don't
saying,
have to fire you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They missed the playoffs again. Can Lou come back
No.
in September?
Listen, I'm a proclaimed ageist. When it comes to hockey, I am.
Yeah,
Speaking of my mom,
we love you, Lou. We love you, Lou, but like your team needs something new now.
They haven't changed their identity at all for years, and it's not good enough. We had Rupp on yesterday. He said the worst thing that happened to them was getting to the conference finals. It's just, maybe if we tried the same group. What if we tried the same group?
Okay.
It's bad. It's really bad.
This is from CX Peary on Twitter. You guys keep saying this team feels different and is better suited for the playoffs, but what gives you any confidence that they will be able to score more than 2 goals per game this year? Lack of scoring has been their biggest downfall.
I think the type of goals that they're focusing on this year. Let me go ahead and get ahead of this.
Okay, get ahead.
I think their elite talents are going to have a year.
Wow.
I think Mitch Marner.
No, a half a year.
No.
Because that's all that's left.
No. I mean,
Playoff
in
year.
the playoffs.
Oh, playoffs here. Okay.
Mitch Marner is a elite hockey player, and I think they're going to have a year where it just works. At some point, these guys are good.
Mhm.
I don't know that there is a case in history where guys as good as Matthews and Marner and Nylander have elite stats in the regular season and never find it in playoffs.
I'm not as confident as you.
You're not.
Not with the offense.
Mhm.
And we'll stand by it feels differently because, again, last night's an example that they find ways to win with these lulls or these moments when it would have caved them in the past and they still find a way to get through. That is there. It's been there since the beginning of September, and I think it'll continue. I am not as convinced that the light switch will go on and all these world-class talented players will click on a 25% power play and everybody's going to fill the net. I think there's something going on there that needs addressing. I can't necessarily put my finger on it, but between the power play and the lack of production on the left side and needing somebody else in there
You know
like
how
a
I
Brock
said
Nelson,
I'm an ageist?
there's something that needs to be done.
You get to these ages, and these guys tend to just get that little bit stronger, better, tougher, more experience. And last year, where they come within a goal, Matthews misses 2 games, and he's dealing with something. Nylander's got migraines, and he misses a couple games. You got McMahon's not in the lineup. Like, I don't think they have to be that much different to score more than 2 in a game in the postseason. I think they'll get someone else too in a trade.
Here's why I know it's going to be different. Because this is the year that Marner is going to absolutely set the world on fire. The Leafs are going to go to the conference finals. And then he is going to walk for $16 million to the Chicago Blackhawks.
How much?
$16 million. Because he's going to get hot, and you're going to be talking about how he's the best when we're doing shows live on location with the Stanley Cup final. You're going to be like, oh, he's got to, I don't know, they got to get him under contract. And it's going to be $16 million. And he's going to sign with Chicago.
They'll figure it out. They don't need me.
I'm just telling you. That's what's going to happen. He's going to have his best season ever than Leaf.
Well, hey, would you not take that?
No, I mean,
Would you not take Kawhi Leonard?
If there's
for the
silverware,
Leafs?
10 times out of 10.
Yes.
But without silverware, it's going to
The
suck.
last thing I'll say about the offense is, and I've kind of harped on this, and I still feel this way, is just their inability to move the puck crisply with everybody together.
You know who doesn't solve that problem?
Brock Nelson.
Brock
Right.
Nelson is a do it like the other guys.
Yeah.
Shoot it. Be in front.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think,
who's a connector?
you
Can
know,
Braden Point?
again,
He's so good.
I think part of the problem is outside of Marner or Willie Nylander, you know, Tavares cannot make plays outside of 6 or 8 feet around the net.
Yeah, he can make good passes around there,
Right.
but outside of that.
But outside that, he's not quarterbacking a power play. You don't want him being set, up at the top of the circles, or you don't want necessarily Matthews either. You want him kind of set up to eventually shoot the puck. But like,
I'm fine with him with it, but I get
Right.
your point. I get your point.
Just they got to start involving each other better passes, 4 consecutive passes.
that's
crisp
personnel to me.
passing.
This is the last one because we got to go. Is Brandon, this is from Jimmy 63614. Is Brandon Saad a target for the Leafs for depth scoring?
I don't mind him.
Doesn't do it for me.
Think
Got
it's
ages.
that ship sailed on him, right? St. Louis, right?
It's amazing you do the show with him.
No, he's still in his prime. This is commentating prime right here.
Yeah, it's true.
This is, if I needed him to be on my third line, it's different.
Okay,
Yeah.
His best years are behind him.
Yeah, I don't need another like Pacioretty, Tavares type where you're like, hopefully squeeze one
What
more
about-
year out of this guy.
What about 4-time goal scorer last night and Scott Lawton?
You could talk me into Scott Lawton very easily. Like his contract, $3 million this year and next. Get them to retain a little bit.
Brendan Saad has 4 goals this year. He's making $4.5 million.
Yeah, we're okay on that.
But no, I mean, you know what? I would be the worst pro scout ever because I saw that clapper on the breakaway
From Lawton?
From Lawton, I'm
Get
like,
him.
you're good. Get him.
Whatever else he does.
First round pick on the table.
Yeah.
Whatever. Bar down,
And
clapper.
I don't know if
I
it'll
want
take
Yanni
that
Gourde.
much more
Wait.
than a first rounder.
Yeah, I would hope not.
And Gurbenkin.
A first in Gurbenkin for Scott
Maybe.
Lawton?
Maybe.
I don't like that at
Too
all.
much?
It's a lot.
I think
Okay.
I think everybody's a little bit too horned up about Gurbenkin.
Well, yeah, that's why you got to cash that chip.
He's
Here's
okay.
a second in Gurbenkin.
He's
But
okay.
he's going to do all those late hits after the game outside the building.
fan
for,
first network. They're gonna be like,
yeah.
what the hell? He's fine.
We need him.
Yeah,
You
plays-
slandered it. They're gonna
Could be
come
untradeable.
in here.
he played 7 minutes a night.
Yeah.
Careful.
Okay. That is 1 full hour on the Leafs, and we solved nothing.
Not even close.
But we got another hour to try when we go national. Doug McLean on Off the Rails. And Jason Bukala to put it all together.
And we're sending Sammy.
And where are we sending you, Sammy?
Don't worry about it. We gotta go.
You're not telling me how much you're spending. You're not telling me where you're going, Sammy.
Listen.
I don't like it. Okay? I don't like
Make him
it.
stay, Dad.
I'm going to the Oshawa General game.
I'm the parent here. More when we return. Real Kipper and Bourne.
The Toronto Maple Leafs may be taking a new approach to salary management, which could directly impact Mitch Marner's contract negotiations. During Kyle Dubas' tenure as general manager, the team didn't hesitate to spend heavily, and this trend began with a 6-year extension signed by Marner in 2019. At the time, Marner's $10.9 million annual cap hit set the market for superstar wingers, surpassing comparable players like Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche, who signed a 6-year deal with a $9.25 million annual cap hit. Now, however, times seem to be changing. TSN's Pierre Lebrun recently reported that the Maple Leafs have implemented an internal salary cap, aiming to ensure no player earns more than captain Austin Matthews, who signed a 4-year extension worth $13.25 million per season in August 2023. The team's primary concern revolves around Marner's agent, Darren Ferris, who, according to Lebrun, might push for a percentage of the total salary cap instead of a fixed dollar amount. This could result in Marner's cap hit exceeding Matthews' $13.25 million, conflicting with the Leafs' new financial strategy. Ferris is known for driving negotiations to the limit, often taking his clients to free agency. This raises fears that discussions between Marner and the Leafs could drag on until July 1st, giving Marner and his camp all the leverage in negotiations. Another complicating factor is the rising market. Lebrun noted that Mikko Rantanen believes he could secure $14 million per season as a free agent. This sparks the question, could Marner demand even more? And would Ferris take that gamble, knowing the Leafs might opt to move on and sign another player? Marner has made it clear on multiple occasions that Toronto is where he wants to be. As a local player with deep ties to the city, he's expressed his desire to spend his entire career wearing the blue and white of the Leafs. However, staying with the team may require him to accept less than market value, especially if the front office remains committed to its new salary structure. Such a sacrifice could be vital for the team's collective success and to avoid financial issues that have plagued the recent past. While negotiations are still in the early stages, it's evident that Marner's future with the Leafs is at stake. Maple Leafs fans may need to prepare for the possibility of significant changes, but they can also trust in the player's commitment to the city and the franchise to find a compromise. The Maple Leafs' decision to implement an internal salary cap reflects a broader shift in their team-building philosophy. After years of prioritizing top-end talent with hefty contracts, the organization appears determined to strike a balance between superstar contracts and depth throughout the roster. This strategy aims to avoid the pitfalls of past seasons, where a lack of financial flexibility often left the team vulnerable in critical playoff moments. For Mitch Marner, this shift creates a unique challenge. On one hand, his value to the Leafs is undeniable. A consistent top scorer and elite playmaker, Marner has been instrumental in driving the team's offense. On the other hand, his ability to command a salary that rivals or exceeds Austin Matthews could put the Leafs in a difficult position, especially with a potential need to strengthen other areas of the roster. As the 2023-24 season progresses, the Leafs must weigh the potential consequences of sticking to their cap philosophy. Losing a homegrown talent like Marner would undoubtedly sting for fans and the organization alike. However, allowing one player to dictate financial terms beyond the team's structure could hinder long-term success and force painful sacrifices elsewhere. Adding to the complexity is the looming free agency of William Nylander. If the Leafs are to stick to their internal salary cap, they may also face challenges in retaining Nylander, who could command a significant raise. Balancing contracts for both Marner and Nylander within the new framework could prove to be the ultimate test for Toronto's management team. Another factor at play is the team's ultimate goal, winning the Stanley Cup. While star players like Marner and Matthews are crucial, history has shown that depth and balanced rosters often prevail in the postseason. If the Leafs fail to manage their finances effectively, they risk falling short of building a championship-caliber team, even with elite talent. For Marner, the decision to stay with the Leafs might come down to more than just dollars. His connection to the city, the fans, and his teammates could be deciding factors. If he prioritizes legacy and loyalty over maximizing earnings, there's a strong possibility that he'll work with the team to find a deal that benefits both parties. Negotiations will also test Darren Ferris, known for his hardline tactics in securing lucrative deals for his clients. While pushing for top dollar is expected, Ferris may need to weigh the risks of alienating the Leafs management and fanbase. A prolonged stalemate could damage Marner's relationship with the team and its supporters. The Leafs management, led by general manager Brad Treliving, faces a pivotal moment. Treliving's reputation as a negotiator and team builder will be on full display as he navigates this high-stakes scenario. Striking the right balance could solidify his tenure in Toronto, while a misstep might set the team back for years. For Maple Leafs fans, the coming months will be filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Marner's future, along with the team's ability to stay competitive under financial constraints, will likely dominate conversations as the season unfolds. Supporters can only hope that the team's new approach leads to greater playoff success and, ultimately, the elusive championship. In the end, the outcome of these negotiations could redefine the Maple Leafs' identity for years to come. Whether it results in retaining Marner or reshaping the roster, the team's commitment to an internal salary cap signals a clear focus on long-term sustainability. Fans will be watching closely, hoping for a resolution that keeps the team's core intact and their championship dreams alive. As the negotiations with Mitch Marner progress, another layer of complexity is added by the external competition in the NHL market. Teams with more cap space and fewer restrictions could easily present lucrative offers to Marner if he reaches free agency. The Leafs are not only negotiating with Marner but also indirectly competing with other franchises willing to outbid them for his services. One example of this is Mikko Rantanen, whose potential $14 million value on the open market highlights the growing demand for elite wingers. If Rantanen secures such a deal, it could set a precedent that Marner's camp would use as leverage. The Leafs, however, must remain disciplined, as breaking their internal salary cap for Marner could lead to similar demands from other key players down the line. The looming specter of free agency means the Leafs have a limited window to strike a deal. If negotiations drag on into the off-season, the leverage shifts heavily in favor of Marner and his agent. Darren Ferris, known for his strategic patience, could use this to push for maximum value, putting even greater pressure on the Leafs management to make a decision. This scenario also places significant pressure on head coach Sheldon Keefe. Managing a team amid ongoing contract uncertainty can disrupt chemistry and focus. Keefe will need to ensure that the team remains united and focused on their performance, even as the media and fans speculate about Marner's future. Meanwhile, the Leafs core group, including Austin Matthews, Morgan Rielly, and John Tavares, will likely play a role in influencing Marner's decision. The camaraderie among the players and their collective drive for a championship could persuade Marner to accept a deal that aligns with the team's financial structure. On the flip side, the Leafs could explore contingency plans if a deal with Marner doesn't materialize. Trading Marner would be a bold move, but it could bring significant assets in return, potentially bolstering the team in areas like defense or secondary scoring. This option, while unpopular with fans, might be necessary to maintain roster balance. The timing of these decisions is also critical. With the trade deadline months away, the Leafs must assess whether keeping Marner without an extension risks losing him for nothing in free agency. A preemptive trade could avoid this scenario, but it would also signal a significant shift in the team's short-term goals. Fan sentiment will undoubtedly influence the team's approach. Marner is not just an exceptional player, he's a fan favorite and a symbol of homegrown talent succeeding in Toronto. Losing him could lead to backlash, especially if the team struggles in the aftermath of his departure. The broader NHL landscape also plays a role. As other teams navigate their own salary cap challenges, the Leafs can learn from their successes and failures. Organizations like the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights have shown the value of balancing star power with depth, offering a potential blueprint for Toronto's future.